Hey guys, welcome back to Salt and Pepper Gaming.
Well, today we're going to be looking at some of the scariest games you should be playing alone in the dark.
Let's go.
Well, we love watching scary movies. We also love playing scary games too.
So in this episode, we're going to have a look at some of the scariest games of all time. But it doesn't necessarily mean they're great games or they're long games, but they're pretty damn scary.
A disclaimer, for those watching, we will be showing you some scary footages and some jump scares. So, if you're a little squeamish, maybe you should just watch one of our other episodes. But for the rest of you, let's check out the scariest games of all time.
So not in any order, the first game on our list is Outlast.
When we were first introduced to this game, I thought, how can a $16 game that I've never heard of be scary? It's not a first-person shooter. You actually don't kill anyone in this game, but we were completely wrong. This game is a scary, scary game.
Armed with just a camera and batteries, you enter this haunted asylum where you encounter some of the most horrific beings.
It almost feels like you're playing an absolute intense horror movie. The jump scares and the music is absolutely brilliant in bringing the fear. Moments like when your flashlight flickers and goes out and you have to use the video cam in night vision mode, that is truly terrifying. It feels like you're actually there, having no idea what's around the corner.
From the blood-curdling screams of inmates, seeing bloody bodies around, and having a crazy killer track you down. This is one game that will definitely get your heart pumping. There's a part in the game when you're walking down the hospital hallway and you're seeing something sitting on a wheelchair, and then boom! Out of nowhere! It freaks you out. And there's so many other times where something's chasing you, and it's even worse when you don't have a weapon to defend yourself. Makes it even more that scarier.
What Outlast does well is it enables you to scare you just with music alone. There's moments where it's really quiet and all of a sudden the that typical violin horror vibes starts to creep in and you're like, oh man, I'm in trouble. This guy's just chasing you, you're hiding in lockers, and it's just so many moments like that. It's tense. You just feel tense the whole time you're playing, and that's what we love about horror movie games. Well, the next game on our list is Until Dawn. Now, what people love about slasher movies are normally not the storyline, but people love to figure out who the killer is and how the killer is about to strike next. And Until Dawn does that so well. Although it does have a great storyline, it reminds me of those 90s movies where you're trying to figure out who the killer is, and there's plenty of jump scare scenes in this game.
The story starts with 8 friends who return to the isolated mountain lodge where 2 of their friends disappeared exactly 2 years ago. As they return to the cabin in the mountains, they realize that they might not be the only people on the mountain, and your job is to make sure as many of the characters survive the night until dawn.
So gamers who love horror movies will absolutely love this game, as it brings you right into a horror movie itself. Is this a perfect game? By far, no. But when it comes to the scares, we believe Until Dawn truly delivers.
There's a scene where Sam's taking a bath and a creepy guy stares at her in the background. As you play this game, the jump scares ramp up to the point of characters getting dragged out of cabins. Even the creatures at the end who look like a creepier version from Smeagol from The Lord of the Rings.
Well, Until Dawn brings the horror, brings the suspense, and it brings that level of intensity that we're looking for a scary game. So make sure you get your hands on one today.
And another game on our list is Silent Hill.
Oh mate, Silent Hill, when we first were introduced to this game, it was like no game we've ever played before. It was definitely a survival horror with a bit of action, but it was one that we weren't ready for, and we absolutely loved this game.
And what you have to remember is this game is over 20 years old, so for back in the day, this game was pretty damn scary.
Yeah, in 1999, there weren't many horror games released to this level, so we were definitely introduced to a new world when it came to Silent Hill.
There are over 12 Silent Hill games made, and yet, while they're different in story and graphics, only one truly stands out as the incredible game that shook you to the core when playing it alone in the dark. From the very beginning, as you find yourself looking for your lost child, you are trapped in an abandoned town with nothing but a gun and a torch. It's even worse when you first start, you have nothing to defend yourself with, and you come across some creepy creatures and all you can do is run. But no game is truly scary if it doesn't have the music to back it up, and this game has the creepiest music from a game from the 90s.
What Silent Hill delivers is a world of absolute shock and awe. The characters you come across in this game are truly terrifying. And when the alarm goes off and Silent Hill turns into hell, it amps up the horror to the next level. So that's definitely a game worth checking out if you want to play some scary games.
So another on the list is Alien Isolation.
Now this game is very different from any other Alien games you've played, maybe AVPs or things like that. Rather than being a fast-paced action horror game, it's more of a survival horror game that was originally based on the first Alien movie series itself.
Unlike previous games of the Alien franchise, Alien Isolation places the emphasis on stealth and survival horror gameplay.
What really makes this game work for the genre is the fact that the game runs on an engine built from scratch to accommodate technical aspects such as atmospheric and lighting effects and the aliens' behavior. Alien Isolation is a third-person game but uses first-person to create a more intense experience.
What makes this game truly scary is the atmosphere itself. Trying to complete objectives and missions without being seen means a lot of hiding in small spots and hidden areas, trying not to get caught. There is a main alien that is pursuing you throughout the whole game. This alien cannot be defeated, which means it requires you to be strategic in keeping away from him.
This game is truly a terrifying game that you want to play in the dark. The music, the atmosphere, as we mentioned before. There are times where you hear the alien's voice and you have no idea where it is. Is he above you, the sides? And all you can do is run and hide. It's a truly, truly satisfying game for those who love to be scared while playing in the dark. That's Alien Isolation.
And the last one on this list for this video is The Evil Within 1 and 2. But there's so many on our list that we could have mentioned in this video, but for time constraints, we might do another video coming up with some more of the scariest games that we've found. But let's talk about The Evil Within.
So The Evil Within 1 and 2, you know what, I would liken it to Silent Hill meets Inception all in one. It truly is a really, really evil, scary games. So let's have a look at this one, shall we? The game begins as Detective Sebastian and his partners are called to Beacon Mental Hospital to investigate a mass murder that has taken place. As they arrive at the scene, they are confronted with what looks like a bloodbath of bodies everywhere. So when Sebastian finds a lone survivor, there's also a video feed, and what they see is a little insane.
The video is a squad of cops shooting at an unseen enemy before they are taken out, and then a hooded figure appears standing there, and while watching the video, the figure looks up and then appears behind Sebastian, which is when the horror begins.
So Sebastian's knocked out, and when he's awoken into a nightmare. Once Sebastian breaks out of the asylum, nothing is actually quite the same. As you play the game, you realize that the world is very different and not the world you're used to. And that's because the world is actually a shared conscious powered by a machine called STEM. It is very much an Inception style story and in the same breath truly terrifying.
There are so many scary gory scenes within the game, from meeting the main villain Ruben and being chased by a chainsaw sadist, and with the eerie music, it's one true horror game.
Yeah, the characters also make this game truly terrifying. The guy with the box head that chases you, that's absolutely scary as well. Definitely a series to play. It's an older game, but it's definitely one that we recommend as a top game. Well, these are just a handful of games that we thought were super creepy. We will make another episode after this with the rest of the games that we think should be added to this huge extensive gaming list.
So why don't you let us know in the comments down below for that next episode, what are some scary games you think should be on the next video on this channel?
Good point, Pav. So make sure you let us know, subscribe, hit the like button, follow us on Insta and Facebook. We want to say we love you guys on our community on gaming. You guys rock, and we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
Peace.